Hi everyone, I'm Chef Raveena and I'd like to wish you a very happy Halloween. I'm not dressed in anything scary, but I do work for a startup, Yogi Sattva, which is my brand, and that is pretty scary in itself. So today we're gonna learn how to make a vegan, gluten-free and refined sugar-free pumpkin bread. So what I'm gonna do for this bread is also add sort of a crumb topping to give it a little more layer of freshness. So for this crumb topping, I'm going to use some gluten-free oat flour. This goes into my small bowl. A little bit of cinnamon. Half cup of chopped pecans. You can replace this either with almonds or walnuts. Both of them work equally well. Some coconut sugar. And lastly, some cold pressed organic coconut oil to bind this mixture together and really make it to the crumb consistency that we want. And then you can go ahead and mix. I'm now going to set this aside and move on to the main batter of my bread. So for that, I need to set my flax egg first. So this is one flax egg, that means it's 1 tablespoon of unsalted, unroasted flaxseed powder, to which I'm going to add some water and then shake it around in the bowl. I'm going to leave that aside and move on to my dry ingredients. So I'm going to take a bowl. And to this, I'm going to add some gluten-free oat flour. So this is oat flour made at home. They're gluten-free rolled oats that are pulsed in a blender. Some coarse almond flour. Some baking powder. Baking soda. Some clove powder. Some nutmeg powder, some cinnamon powder, and lastly some salt to cut through the sweetness. Using a spatula, I'm just going to mix all of that in. So my dry ingredients are ready. I'm now going to move on to my wet ingredients. So for my wet ingredients, I'm going to start by taking my flax egg, which was gelled first. So this egg is now ready and ready to go into my bowl. The next thing that I'm going to add is some freshly made pumpkin puree. So if you've seen my applesauce video, it's kind of the same process. You want to take pumpkin without the skin. You can either boil it or put it in a pressure cooker and then just put a hand blender through or run it in a blender. So it's basically boiled or pressure cooked pumpkin that has either been blended or passed through a hand blender, and then you get this puree consistency. It has no sugar, it's just pure pumpkin that's been boiled and blended. So I'm going to add this in. Some coconut sugar. You can replace this with jaggery powder, you can do date paste, all of these work really well for this recipe. A little bit of vanilla. And lastly, some coconut oil. So I'm just going to mix all of this in and bring it together. So it's quite a wet batter, and this is a good place to be because you want it to mix well with the dry ingredients. I'm now going to go ahead and add all the dry ingredients to my wet ingredients. And then just fold this batter in. My bread batter is now ready, so I'm going to go ahead and line a bread tin. I'm using a non-stick mold. You're welcome to use a silicone mold as well. I'm going to put some parchment paper at the bottom. So I'm going to take some coconut oil, line the bottom and add the parchment paper on top. I'm now gonna go ahead and add my batter to my pan. And the last thing that I'm going to do is add this beautiful crumb topping that we made at the start, right on top. My beautiful pumpkin bread is now ready to go into the oven. So I'm going to place this on a baking tray and put this in the oven at 175°C between 30 to 40 minutes. My pumpkin bread is fresh out of the oven. You can see how well the crumb topping on top has caramelized. I'm gonna wait for this to completely cool before I go ahead and remove it from the tin and slice a piece. As you can see, the inside is nice, soft and moist, and with the crunch on top, you're really going to enjoy this bread. I hope you have a splendid and maybe slightly less scary Halloween and truly enjoy it with this dessert. Thank you so much for watching the content on my YouTube channel. Please share it with your friends, family, and anybody who you know wants to be on a plant-based lifestyle or is on a mission to get healthy. This is the channel for them. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.